Video number 3 then. I'm currently in Siargao, which is in the Philippines. Found myself a nice little spot to set myself up. It's been a little while since I've done a video. I'm going to do an update on what happened in Malaysia. Went over to Lombok for a surf camp. From there, went back to Thailand for a few weeks. And yeah, now I'm in the Philippines. I've been here for 2 weeks. I'd like to do a separate video on the Philippines, so I'm just gonna, on this one, run through the bits in between now and then. So rewinding back to Kuala Lumpur, we went to the Batu Caves, which is the coloured stairs, and there's like a temple at the top. And when we got there, there was actually a Hindu festival happening. So that was really cool, and there was lots to take in. It was very colourful, as you might imagine. It was really interesting to see people committing to the steps, whether that be on their knees and they were crawling up, or they were going up with these huge, I don't even know what to describe them as, because they were like, it was attached to their back and then they would kind of like sit it on their head, and it was, they must have been like 20, 25 kilos. And these were like not large lads that were carrying these huge things up the stairs. And it was quite clear that people were fasted as well. So you can imagine doing anything when you're fasted, especially not just like an intermittent, but doing fasted for a few days and then going and doing that would be a lot. We went through into Ipoh, and from there had a few days, then went up to Georgetown, which is Penang, had a few days there, and then we went over to Langkawi. Langkawi was when I started to slow down and just feel like I had a bit of a different vision for how I wanted the trip to go, but I didn't quite have the full picture of how I wanted that to look. So it was, okay, this is where I would like to take my traveling, my backpacking, whatever you want to call it. But because I'd already made plans and I was traveling with another person, it made it difficult to just go, right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm changing everything up and I'm just going to impulsively book a flight here or change this, which is what I've done in the past, and have spent money on flights I didn't take, or just completely uprooted and changed things. So I tried to take a different approach, which was allow that idea and thought to just settle, figure out what those next steps would look like. Fast forward to now, everything feels to have slowed down. I feel much more positive. I feel much more confident. I feel like I've got more of a direction, and I kind of feel like I have kind of figured out what it is I want to get out of traveling in future. When you're solo traveling, it's so freeing because you genuinely don't have anything to do or anywhere to be. So you can change your mind. You can be on the list for a tour, and then you can go, actually I don't want to do that, or actually no, I don't want to get on that bus today, I don't want to do this. So going from a space where I was constantly managing someone else at the same time as myself, so I was trying to do things that they wanted to do, and we were trying to do things together, and we were trying to manage things that I wanted to do. It just added an extra layer to the whole experience. And when I got to Lombok, I immediately felt quite relaxed because I'd been there before. And because I'd booked onto a surf camp, I got picked up from the airport, made it into the actual camp, which was lovely. It was really central. And everything was just super easy because I was in a space where I almost had my week planned out for me. I'd booked 6 nights on a surf camp. So it was surfing every day, which meant that we would be told the night before, this is your pickup time, this is the group you're going to be surfing with, this is your coach, etc. And essentially it was easy as you just wake up, you have your breakfast, which was included, and then depending on what time, so if it was 8:30 for example, you'd be ready for 8:30. Coaches are already loaded up the boards, so you jump on and off you go, and then you surf for a couple of hours. Sometimes it was a double session, and yeah, it was a really positive experience. Got a lot out of that. And the best bit was I obviously got to surf. So I first started surfing the year before. I got a lesson like 2 years before in Bali. Did like an hour with a guy and then was like, yeah, this is great. And then got imposter syndrome and never surfed again. When I went back to Lombok last year, I started again, got some lessons, and started to feel a bit more comfortable with the actual process of surfing. Managed to stand up a few times, started feeling a bit more confident and positive. Went home. There's no surfing where I live, so I wanted to try and do as much as I could in order to make surfing easier for me once I got away again. So I did try and implement some bits into my training. I improved my mobility drastically with yoga. So then coming back, I had kind of lost the imposter syndrome, but still didn't really know how to surf. I did a surf camp in Morocco in October for 3 days. So I had little to no experience. And although I have stood up a few times, well, every time I've surfed, I've been able to stand up, it doesn't make your ability to just jump in the water and surf any easier. The actual surf camp, when I arrived, they did like a surf briefing where they just went through some theory, some etiquette, wanted to know where our level was at, and as once we'd spoken to them with our experience, they would decide what board we were going to use, where we were going to surf, what group we were in, those sorts of things. Because there was multiple levels within each group, but across the groups, there were people that are surfing routinely all the time back home, or they're sort of advanced surfers from previous trips. So, good thing about surfing out here, and it's been the same in the Philippines, is the guys are in the water with you. So I've never done a lesson back home or in Oz, but from speaking to people that have, it's a lot of, we do all of the work on the beach, and then you go out and you try and implement it, and they might be in the water sort of standing with you and things, but it's not as hands-on instruction. Whereas here and in Lombok, the guys are catching the wave and using the momentum of them catching the wave to row you. So then because you get the push, you get ahead of the wave, which makes it easier to stand up. The surf camp was so much fun and so exhausting. My routine consisted of surfing, coming back, crashing, getting a coconut, having a coffee, having some food, and then I would just end up like napping or watching a podcast or just literally crashing out on the sofa, which having a sofa whilst you're traveling is the best thing ever. So after Lombok, I headed to Thailand. I met up with Lily again, and we headed to the islands in the south. So before we actually got to the islands, we headed across to Khao Lak, which was really interesting because that is where we're one of the places that was really badly hit by the tsunami back in 2003. Could be wrong. It's bad if I have forgotten the information already. But in Khao Lak, which I had no idea was a thing in Thailand, they had surfing. So there was like a little surf school down by the beach. And it was a case of like looking at the surf school, looking at the water, and it literally looked like this. So it's like, well, there's no waves, so where are you going to surf? And then one evening I came down to the beach, just normal routine, I know hard life. And then there were some people out surfing. The waves weren't massive. They weren't like what I had in Lombok or what I've had here. But I was like, I'm just going to go and grab a board and I'm just going to do what I can. So I went out surfing by myself and just had a really good time. I was able to catch a few. Then we headed over to the island. So we made our way over to Koh Samui, stayed in the south, which was lovely. I've been to Koh Samui a couple of times, but I didn't really like it last time because it's so busy now, and all of the tourist strip areas have very much turned into the party bars, weed shops, old men hanging around, the bars kind of being full of young Thai ladies and massage parlors. So I wasn't so keen on going back to Koh Samui, but we stayed along the south, and it was absolutely stunning. It was really sleepy. The only restaurants around were local families, and the food was great. So yeah, we had a really nice time in Koh Samui. And then headed over to Koh Tao, and from Koh Tao went across to Koh Phangan. Koh Phangan is where I'm going to be doing my yoga course in May, which is only 5 or 6 weeks away now. So went over and checked out where I'm going to be doing it. This place was incredible. I'm really looking forward to spending a month there. Obviously tried the coffee because that is going to be important. And yeah, it was just such a nice vibe. Like, it was right on the beach. The cafe, the food was so lovely, and the people seemed really chilled, very much like a yogi hub. And Koh Phangan as well, I think, my favorite Thai island. So fast forward to now, I am in the Philippines, and I want to do a video just on the Philippines because it has been incredible, and I've really, really loved it. And I feel like I've had a huge shift in mindset, and just wanted to do a short one to fill in that gap. I haven't really felt the space or creative energy to give this any time. So I've kind of stepped back and just slowed down, which has been really positive. And yeah, so I just wanted to hop on and get something together just to summarize and put a load of the clips in, because I took lots of drone footage. So I wanted to put that all together. Yeah, that's it for now. I will be doing a video on the Philippines. I'll be doing a video on the yoga course. And the other thing that I will start putting up on here as well is I've signed up for a half marathon, the Great North Run, in September. I have never been a runner. I have only ever ran 5 kilometers. So a half marathon is quite a lot more. I ran 6 kilometers the other day, and then quickly realized that I'm going to have to run that another 2 or 3 times, if my maths is correct, for the half. I've signed up to the Runner app, so I've got a bit of a program together, which I've not been able to do as yet because I've been surfing and I've been so exhausted from surfing. But part of me feels like substituting running for other physical activity at the minute is okay, but I will need to start getting the miles in the legs and the feet, more importantly, over the coming weeks. So yeah, week one of that is gone. I think it's about 23 weeks until actual race day. Going to be raising money for sarcoma in memory of Daisy Ellis. I'll do a video on that as well. So there's 3 or 4 different videos coming, and I would like to try and vlog my way through the training in the lead up to the Great North Run as well. So yeah, there's a few bits to come. As always, like, comment, share, subscribe. Every small little bit helps. Speaking of which, I'm going to leave one little anecdote, if that's the right phrase, to round this off, which I heard today and almost made me cry in a cafe, so I would like to share it. So an old man is walking down to the beach. There's been a storm, and as a result, there's lots of starfish all across the beach. He's walking down, and as he's avoiding the starfish that have been washed up on the shore, he spots a little boy in the distance. So he looks over and he thinks, what is he doing? Because he can see that the boy is doing something. So what the boy is doing is he's picking things up and he's throwing them into the sea. So the old man thinks, oh, like, what is he throwing? Is he okay? So he wanders over and he asks the boy, he says, what are you doing? And are you okay? And the little boy responds and says, yeah, I'm just trying to save the starfish. So he's picking up starfish one by one. He's throwing them back into the ocean. And the old man says, there's been a storm. There's thousands of starfish on the beach and on the shore. You're never going to be able to make a difference or save any of them. So the little boy picks another one up and he throws it into the ocean. And as he does so, he says to the old man, I made a difference to that one. It just goes to show that even one thing you do, whether that's for yourself, whether that's for friends, family, or even just a random stranger, just one thing makes a difference to that one person, whether that's you. So, yeah, a little bit of positivity to end this, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.